Hello everyone, National Master Jesse Cohen here from Summer School of Chess with some quick bites for you. Today I want to review one of my students' games. I consider them a player that is a solid intermediate player that I am trying to push into advanced territory. Let's quickly review what that means. To be a solid intermediate player, in my opinion, you have got to be excellent at consistently counting attackers and defenders and keeping with consistent strategy, that basic stuff at the beginning, bringing out your pieces, getting your king safe, fighting for the center. If you can follow basic strategies and you can count attackers and defenders, aka keep the pieces safe and take free things when they're given to you, I think you're a solid intermediate player. And then your next steps are typically to start looking for tactics. And then when someone attacks you, instead of just defending, trying to ignore your opponent. So I had a lesson with a student today, and I said, okay, your assignment this week is two things. A, I want you to start really looking for tactics. Don't just wait for them to fall in your lap and be like, oh, there's a fork, oh, there's a pin. I want you to really try to make them happen, try to, find them. And then the second thing I said is, if someone attacks you, I want you to try not to defend. I want you to try and counterattack. Okay? So my students playing white, I've kept their name private for privacy reasons. Let's take a look. E4, C6. Caro-Kann, D4, D5. This is just standard. This is one way for black to strike back at white center. Pawn takes pawn, okay. Pawn takes back, knight C3. Bringing out the knight to its best square. Knight's coming out to their best square. This is all making sense. H6, sure, saving the bishop. Now here, this is attacking. He should think to himself, is there a way I can make, an ignoring move? I mean, he could have thrown in the move bishop to b5 check, It's not a terrible move, and that would have been something to ignore. It would have only delayed it, but saved it here. Okay. G3. Now, this move, unfortunately, is a mistake for a couple of reasons. Tactically speaking, it's a mistake because it traps this bishop. Notice that this bishop has nowhere safe to go, and black can play pawn g5, immediately trapping it. Yeah, it's not the worst thing in the world. White can get 2 pawns for it, but still, we don't want to give away a piece for just 2 pawns, okay? Also, I could be wrong, but normally when you play a move like g3, it's when you want to fianchetto your bishop. But we got to think about the future of our pieces. Bishops need open diagonals. Let's just pretend that we actually got a few moves for free, shall we? Let's just give black some move, whatever. And we get to play what I think white's going for, and then here. And let's say we even move this knight one day and free this bishop. Is this bishop that happy? In my opinion, not so much. It's attacking a pawn that's guarded by a pawn, so it's never going to take it. Unless we can get our pawn attacking there, this pressure means nothing, and this diagonal will stay closed. White already had a nice open diagonal where this bishop had several good places to come out to. I think we should have stuck with that. Walking into a pin, I don't recommend it. And remember, what should our opponent do? Put pressure on pin pieces. Both knight e4 hitting here, and also here, we've got to watch out for these moves. Knight d7, bishop g2, castles. This, by the way, this has been here for a while. Castles kingside, rook c8, putting pressure on the pinned knight. Knight e5, okay. G5. Now, black finally decides to go for it. But, the sad part of this whole thing for black now is that this is the shield pawn for black, okay? For those who don't know, look me in the eyes. The pawns in front of your king are his safety net. They are his #1 safety of any situation, okay? And so when you push away those pawns, especially after you've castled, you're just asking for trouble. And so, yes, this bishop is trapped, but black's castled over here now. So, boom, boom, check. Saves the king. We're down a point, but black's king is kind of messed up a little bit. Maybe we can get something going. Check. Okay. Check. Okay. This is just repeating. We're not making any progress. Block. Now, here's where my student, in my opinion, this is where I would totally have gone differently. In this position, for a variety of reasons, what white does is just no good. White is on the attack. I think we can all agree for that. This queen is around the king. This king has a little protection with the knight nearby. You know, it's definitely creating some pressure. White is also down a piece for 2 pawns. When you are down in points, you don't want to swap. When you are attacking, you don't want to swap. Unless you're destroying some critical defender, you want your pieces on the board to attack. So trading the queens off, followed by trading a pair of knights off, is just not how we want to play this position. It's just helping. I mean, now black doesn't feel any pressure at all. We activate our rook. We lose another pawn. Here, here, bishop f3, here. Now, this is why we never give up, right? In this position, black has finally messed up. Did you see it? It's just this one little mess up. If you blink in chess and you don't capitalize on your opponent's mess ups, they'll realize it and fix it. When they move that f pawn, that went from one attacker, one defender to one attacker, no defender. So we take there for free. f4. There's a free bishop. Takes here. Now we gotta be careful about how we take back there. We gotta see how that line opened up. So this was good. He was paying attention to tactics here. I was proud to see that. Knight g5 attacking the bishop. That's a free knight, sort of, because it's trading off. Check, here, boom, here, here. And actually, I was pretty proud with how this went down, okay? A lot of calculation, I think, went into this, and there were some not fancy tactics, but there were some tactics there in how he traded off that material. And now suddenly, he is the one who's up 3 points. And this is becoming an endgame. And so what are we going to do? Basically just a few things. It's the endgame, so we are going to activate the king. We are going to try and make pawns into queens. And because we're up in points, we're going to try and trade off too. Bishop a5 saves that bishop. Check, here, check, here, check, here. Interesting idea. I like this move, check. This is maybe one of my favorite moves of the game. It lets black take our rook, but we fork the king and their rook. And in a way, it lets us swap rooks, which actually, again, because we're up in points, makes the win easier. Now he's got to activate that king. I guess the one thing I would maybe do different here is I would get that king going. Okay, this king is ready. He understands that passed pawns must be pushed. And then here, you know, black just messes up. You know, white played this kind of hope move. Like, I hope you take my bishop, or I hope you use your bishop to take my knight and stop covering the queening square. What black should play here is just king d5 and keep an eye on that. And white can play this move and take and here, and we lose our bishop, and I don't know, life isn't the happiest. I don't know. Maybe there's better ways. I mean, it's pretty not so great for black. I guess we could sit back here passively and try to hold things back. But yeah, black instead in this position took the knight, and then, you know, once the queen was here, it was just game over. So, okay, here's just my honest opinions. This is one of my favorite students. I say that about a lot of my students because I really do. I am very choosy about who I work with. Anyways, I'll be honest. I'm definitely seeing some good stuff. I'm seeing some tactical resourcefulness. I'm seeing some definitely, you know, good use of strategy. However, I really think that what I told him earlier still applies. He really needs to be pushing the envelope in terms of looking for tactics. Remember what that means. How do I look for tactics? It means that when I'm waiting for my opponent to make a move, or when I'm thinking about my move, the number one thing I'm thinking about are moves that attack the king, take pieces, or make threats. Checks, captures, and threats. I'm looking for white, I'm looking for black, because 99% of the time, those kind of moves are the winning kind of moves when tactics are present. So I'm like constantly honing in. I'm constantly looking for clues. Like, you know, I'm constantly looking for tactics. I'm not waiting for them to come to me. I am searching desperately for them. And you've got to search for them too. And you got to start ignoring your opponents and start putting your ideas first. But you can't just ignore them nimbly bimbly. You have to actually calculate. So again, I'm rambling at this point. I'm trying to keep these shorter. I know I'm doing a terrible job tonight, but I think there was a lot to say. So I'm gonna wrap this up. I'm National Master Jesse Cohen, Summer School of Chess. We have some awesome tournaments coming up, and I will see you soon. Bye.